Hey, yes, it's Saturday and it's getting colder. Again, we had our short spell of the groundhogs. Super duper. It's going to be warm for you. Not turning out like we expected. Nowhere near. We're live. YouTube, Rumble, X, Elicitation. It's not what you think. It is not what you think. Let me check everything's running smooth. Chats are open. Comments are open after. So leave it and let's get on with this. Elicitation. It's not interview and interrogation. It's not the read technique. It's not the problematic approach. It's not what you see on TV in reality. We're going to cover something that's elicited through real life perception. Something that you've probably had happen to you, but you completely missed it. It was over your head, or it fleeted past you like the burning ship, so to say. That one thing that you never caught on to. It's a concept. Elicited. Elicitation is a construct of strategy. It's covert. It's a technique of extracting information when you do not even know the information's being extracted from you. It's disguised in simple conversation, simple linguistic skills, simple kinesic, the approach, the physical, what you see, the calming. The subject remains unaware, meaning you're the one that's the elicitor, but the subject is the one you're probing for the information. The intelligence. One might think, covert. One might think NSA, CIA, James Bond, 00 2 3 4 5 6 8 9 10, 07 was 07, Daniel Craig and Connery. Just is what it is in the real world, right? The one that actually has the skill set of elicitation operates at a social engineering level and principle rather than direct, rather than accusatory, rather than begging or shoveling or trying to dig deep for some information. And in the whole atmospheric theory of elicitation, the one being elicited never picks up on it. Never. Absolutely never. And we're going to find out why. You're going to learn why. The attributes, the deceptions. Number one attribute, concealment. The information gathering mask is just simple. It's casual. It's an interaction. It's a acquaintance. It's I just met you. It's a brief moment in time, kind of like that pirate ship floating by on fire and you never noticed it. Kind of like the I'm sorry that you never gave a sorry whatever about to hear. It's the concealment. It's being hidden. You do not even you have no idea what the intent for the contact is. What the introduction level is for. You really do not even understand why you're having the conversation, but yet you're being elicited to emotionally attract to this person. The voluntary disclosure, thus the emotion. The one being elicited is the subject. The subject is going to provide information willingly without even being compulsed. There's no compulsion. It's not a vampire saga TV show. Look into my eye. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. No, it's not going to happen that way. It's a voluntary disclosure. The information. You're going to want to give the information to the elicitor as the subject. Reciprocity based. Leverage, neutral, human beings. Give, the tendency to return. Kind of the quid pro quo, so to say. You give me, I give you. I give you the comfy feeling. I give you the feeling of, oh, you're the great. I give you the feeling of emotional stability, beauty, the influx of compliment, the influx of eye candy. And you're going to give me everything I need to know. It's the elicitor, the non-confrontational, the zero accusatory tone. It's the pressure tactic. Zero. There's no stress in elicitation. There's no fear. There's no skill of intimidation. It's illicit. It's hidden. It's under the wire. It's the cloak. It's like catching the smoke dragon with your hands, and you'll never be able to do it. The mechanics, the mechanism, the build, the tool. It's a psychological engine. Elicitation is strictly a psychological, elicitation. Psych. It's the illusion of knowing that You are talking to someone. The illusion of knowing that someone cares. The illusion of knowing that I'm the subject and I'm the attention point of view right now. I'm the shiny lick it and stick it star on a forehead for a singular entity to pay attention to. The elicitor is the singular entity. Now, the definition: creating the impression you're already in possession of the information that you seek. That's the elicitor. If the elicitor has the psychological mindset that he or she, being the elicitor, would have already all the knowledge that they need, then the calmness, the aptitude awareness, it's built, its foundation is constructed. The approach is simple. The attention getter is simple. The key words, it's like a pickup line that's unique, but it's physical. It's not just a psychological game of the choice of words that you must taste before they leave your lips or past your tongue. It's kinesic, it's physical as well. How does it work? How does elicitation bonify itself? Where's the credibility? Where's the validity? Where's the reliability? The subject being elicited believes they're conforming. Yes, doing as the elicitor wants. Or they're correcting, meaning that they're correcting the elicitor by giving the response they, them, the subject, want the elicitor to have, because the elicitor with intent is incorrect. But the elicitor is revealing they're incorrect with intent, because the elicitor is under the psychological mindset, I've already got it. I've already got the information, without even having the information, because the subject is unaware. The subject is not aware of the psychological change, the subtle tone, the subtle kinesic approach, the subtle entry into one's personal or intimate space to have that conversation. As I said, it's much like a pickup line, a good one or a bad one. Yeah. The mechanism, the mechanics. How does it work? The application. Creating impressions that you already have it. It encourages, during the application of the elicitation, it encourages the subject to fill the gaps. Give it to me. Conform to the detail. Fill in the blank. The thens, the hows, the whys, the whens, the details that they believe you should know. The details they want to give you, because everybody likes to get that star. Everybody has that self-worth, that self-meaning, that grandeur, that you're the beautiful one. You're the one that's the interest in the moment. The illusion king. Yes, the illusion king. Kind of like a magician. The gentle probe. No, I'm not talking about sticking a hot poker into somebody slowly. It's a disguise. You're probing the statements, the questions, as statements and observations are assumed by the elicitor. The meeting, the subject. So the meeting was probably routine. It's something that happens all the time. They've seen this person. They've seen them at the coffee shop. They've seen them in the workplace. They've seen them jogging down the street, at the gym. Yeah. No better place than to elicit at the gym. Yep. Exercise your right to look good, look sexy, and be elicited all at the same place. The confirmation of the disguise. The mixed verdict of facts with unknown tested response. Now, the elicitor, psychologically, I've got this information just through observation, pattern. The show the other night, last night, pattern. Things that are not random, things that are constructed, designed with intent. The elicitor is watching. It's not interview and interrogation. It's not accusatory. It's exploratory. The application of the elicitor during the mixed verified fact-finding session. The application reveals. It tells the elicitor the subject acknowledges them. Verse wants to conceal something. It's an attention getter. It's a praise. It's a intrusionary linguistic push and probe into your life, into your psyche, into your manic day, into you personally, the aesthetics of you that You wouldn't tell anyone unless someone showed interest in you and you recognized it, and now you're special. You want to give that to them. Yeah. Some would say it's the weak-minded that can be elicited. Oh, contraire. No, anyone can be elicited for anything. It depends on the elicitor. The strategic ignorance factor. See, the elicitor recognizes that. Yeah, it's the feigned lack of knowing that the prompt teaches behavior. The prompt. Yes, the prompt, not the impromptu. The prompt, the prompter. Think of a politician speaking, the prompter, the president of the world, the president of the U.S., the president of Pinky and the Brain took over the world. Doesn't matter. It's a prompt. Already set up strategically to get the response of the person, the people, the subject. The elicitor has the prompt, so it's not an impromptu of creation. So people, the subject, naturally correct perceived ignorance. The prompt is filled with intentional wrong, intentional gap, intentional falsehood. Now the one being elicited is, you're blowing smoke. You're gaslighting. Let me correct your gaslighting. Let me correct your incorrectness. And I'll give it to you. Everything and everything you want, and I don't even know I'm being elicited. Yep. The assumed familiarity. Speaking as if they already share information. Why? Because the subject being elicited is triggered. It's the reciprocity of continuum. They're going to give it to them. Based off of the emotion, based off of I'm the one that's the attention now. Why are you misquoting? Why are you incorrect? Well, it's because the elicitor is incorrect and misquoting with intent for a reason to get information. They already know. The elicitor, they already know you have the information. So when the elicitor psychologically states to themselves, I've already got this information. The information to me is you have the information. I'm going to get it from you. It's the way it works. And it's not interview and interrogation. It's a psychological game. You know you've been elicited at least one time in your life. Everybody has. Did you get in trouble when you were a kid? A lot of people like to call it, the layman term of, it's reverse psychology. No, it's elicitation. Elicitation. Originally developed, yes, Hans Schaff, the military intelligence. Yeah. World War II era. We're not going to cover him. We're not going to cover Hans's entire history. But definition for elicitation. Disguising questions as statements, observations, assumptions. Yes, observations and assumptions. The gaslighting, the incorrect words that somebody is going to want to correct. Somebody's going to get triggered emotionally, triggered cognitively, so that they can climb higher on the cognitive level above the elicitor. We had a show about narcissism. So based on the words that I'm saying right now, how easy would it be to elicit a true, full-blown narcissist? That has to be the dominant person. Now, it would be so easy, it's not funny. The structure, it's a declarative statement with a strategic pause. Yes, the Captain Kirk strategic. Scotty, pause. Yes, for a reason. And I did that because somebody told me the other day I'm got a lot of Captain Kirk traits. I don't see it, but it's what it is. It's called entertainment, right? And education at the same time. And I'm eliciting you. Yes, the viewer here, the declarative statement, the strategic pause. Now I've got you hooked. Now you want to hear a little bit more about the structure. It's the strategic pause to hook the listener, the one that's attentive to the elicitor, the people, the masses. The elicited are not just singular. The elicited are multiple at multiple occasions. Think about it. The legislative body, the executive, the judiciary. Yeah, elicitation, capture your attention. Vote for me. And you voted for him. And some of you are angry. Yeah. A lot of people get angry about the people they vote for because it didn't turn out the way they wanted because they were elicited. Confirm known facts as a casualty Casualty of nature. Yeah. The assumption of delivery. It's kind of like, well, I assumed you would deliver on Tuesday. No, you're wrong. We're supposed to deliver on Monday. Oh, thanks. Now I've got the information that I need. You're always going to deliver on Monday, to specific route, specific time, because I assumed you would deliver on Tuesday. The inflection of the words. I'm eliciting the response. I want you to correct me so that you will give me the information I need to know. Think of a bank robbery, a heist. Yes. How easy people can be elicited. Express the assumptions. The we language. There's no I in team, but there's a M and E, and I'm the M and E with the other alphabetics. Yeah. Create false alliance. The shared purpose. The false alliance. Well, I'll be here. I'll be here when you deliver. Yep, we'll be here together on Tuesday. We don't deliver on Tuesday, moron. The false alliance of we. Now the strategic silence is there. The prompt, the usage, the voluntary elaboration of the elicited to the elicitor. Now we're getting all the information we need to know because I'm allowing the elicited to be the lick it and stick it shiny star for the day. I know, lick it, stick it star, folks, like a kid. Don't think I'm talking about something else that's, adult content. I'm not. The superstar, the embellished, the one that is I'm the king, I'm the queen in the moment. Look at me. You're not going to gaslight me. I'm going to be above you. I'm going to be the narcissist because you're making me look bad and I'm the victim. So I'm going to correct you. Even though somebody's not a full-blown narcissist. They have no narcissistic tendency, but they will do it. Turn that narcissist switch on real quick. Yeah, real quick for the elicitor. Who else was there? There was probably just a few people involved. It's a direct question. The elicited is going to, there were probably a few people involved. Yeah, the elicited knows who the people are. Probably. Yeah, it's kind of like then. It's kind of like now. It's kind of like how, when, what, where. Filling in the gaps. The elicited will give it to you. When did this happen? I imagine it was planned well in advance. When did this happen? Well, it should have happened on Tuesday when you were supposed to deliver, but you planned well in advance to not do it on Tuesday when I was here. So you did it on Monday. Now you're giving it, to me on Monday. What? We're all confused. Well, I imagine it was planned in advance to deliver on Monday. Yeah, because there's no imaginary. I'm prompting you to give me the information directly. You're being elicited. The kinesic linguistic venue. It's not hard, light over the head, screaming, banging on tables, interrogation. That's the simplicity. Think of the attraction. Where did you meet? Public places are usually safer. Yeah. I didn't ask that. Where did you meet? You just told me a public place. The elicited give oblique answers, not direct answers. So the elicitor can find the key words, the prompt, to continue the prompted development psychologically and keep the conversation going. Yes, the confirmation. The confirmation for the elicitor. Chats are open. Have you ever been elicited? Be brave. Put it in the chat. Have you ever been elicited? What was the topic? Don't break it down too hard. Just what was the topic? Chats are open. Let's see. YouTube chats open. Rumble. Yep, we got Rumble going, and I don't really monitor X. We're only streaming on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Like I said before in past, we can do, Twitch and Kick, but I don't want to have to fight through the gamers. The definition, again, other definitions to the elicitor. You're like, well, there should only be one definition. Oh, but if the elicitor can prompt for different occasion, the elicitor can define differently the cause of the elicitation. Mixing verified facts with unknowns to map the subject's knowledge of specific boundaries. Thus, as I said before, the prompt to trigger. I've been gaslighted. You're wrong. You're wrong about me. You're making an assumption that is incorrect. Let me correct you, sir. Let me correct you, madam. Yeah. The elicitor is going to let you correct them and give it to them. The pattern conform. Confirm, introduce the unknown, assess the reaction. It's the elicitor's trick. Yeah, confirm through errored direct statement with causation. So the elicited will correct it for you. Yeah, the disguised verbal monster. And then the one being elicited acknowledges from what they know is being concealed with intent. But the elicited will just give it away. Free of will. It's kind of like a verbal and visual aid. The elicitor is just going to trigger it all the time. The applied effort, the encounters, the elicitor, the casual approach, the casual linguistic hook, the casual entering of your space. You're in my personal space. The flattery, the ego stroke. Oh, I apologize. It's clearly that, it's clear and present to me that there's something about you. That's the prompt, the trigger. Are they going to ask, what is that something? Or is it going to psychologically manic push? Now the elicitor knows your psychological state in the moment and knows the prompt of where to go next. It's a better system. Yep. It's a better system than interview and interrogation. It's a better system than the read system. It's a better system than the, PACE model. It's a better system than the accusatory. Accusatory just what? Inflames ego, inflames drama, inflames emotion, inflames crying for mama. And those of you that are in law enforcement, that's what I say is 100% real, crying for mama. We've all heard it, and mom never showed up. The mutual interest, the voluntary disclosure. Yeah. I'm working on a similar case, man. Yeah. What about your case, Bob? You working on a similar case too? The subjects that are being elicited share comparative detail. Yeah, I had a girl like that once. She was evil. I had a man like that once. He was evil too. They're going to give it to you. They're going to break it down. All of you have heard those horror stories. Everyone wants to trump the other, be the ace-king card of their own abuse. So they're going to give the elicitator the entire story, even though the elicitator is in that psychological head thinking, oh, crap, I don't want to hear this. But the elicitator must to gain the knowledge that the elicitator wants. It's simple psychological triggers. It's not interview and interrogation. You're being elicited. Elicitation, sparkly diamonds driving you in to give the information. The proactive statement. That approach never works. Oh, that's the trigger. Then suddenly the elicited will tell you real quick and correct you. Thine error-making gaslighter of hate and anger, let me correct you and tell you how this approach will work. Kind of sounds like a corporate raider, doesn't it? Yeah, business, elicitation. It's not going to work. Yeah, it'll work because A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, money, profit, millions, billions, quadrillions. Now you've just given the business model to the elicitator, the corporate raider. And you're wondering why your business collapsed. Yeah, your fault. You were elicited. The provocative statements, the minimization of the actually linguistic venues, the indifferences, minimal importance, desired information. The subject, the one being elicited, is going to reduce the guard. The elicitator is the one that will allow themselves to be the demeanored one. Oh, my approach will work. You shall hear me out. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, billions. Now, you've reduced me into my spot that you wanted me to be. But that's great. I'm in the spot that I want to be because you're giving me the information that I want. And I'm going to change the prompt. I'm going to display low self-esteem, low self-worth because you have corrected me. But you're still giving me everything that I wanted from the get-go. All of it. Multiple tactics. Strategic and, ignorance. I said strategic ignorance, not strategic stupidity. Keep this in mind. Ignorant, you don't know. You're ignorant and you know you don't know, and now you've got a choice. Education, learn. You choose not to learn. You choose not to educate yourself. That's stupid. Now you're stupid. It's just how the elicitator is going to see it. The fraying back, Yeah, the bringing back of knowledge, the trigger, the teacher behavior. I'm going to give you the knowledge. I'm going to let you take that knowledge and I'm going to let you build on it. And then I'm going to ego trip you, the psychological basis. Once I see that you've gotten some knowledge, and now I'm going to play the social dominance theory through information sharing. I'm going to assess what you know. Then I'm going to give you a little bit more information and listen to you agree with me or argue that you learned that already and you've already gained it. I do not need to teach it to you. And then what's going to happen? You're going to let the elicited display plausible ignorance. Yes, about the technical details, because they're going to trip up. And then they're going to babble to keep up with their own error. The elicitor is going to catch that. The elicitor at that point in time already has the prompt played out. It's a procedure of context. The elicitated is going to give the context of the data to the elicitor. Think espionage. Think secret plans, as I said before, at the beginning of the show. Think James Bond. That's not an interview. It's sorcery, witchcraft, trickery. It's influence. Yeah, you're being elicitated. You're being sparkly shined. You're being attracted like a moth to the light bulb at night. The tactics. Oh, gosh, the tactics. So let's cover a few tactics here. The principles, the application, and the example. Now we're going to take a minute or two here because I know I've said a lot. It's kind of like drinking through a fire hose, and some of you are like, who the heck is this guy teaching me elicitation? Because you probably didn't even know elicitation existed, and you probably didn't even pick up that you were being elicited, and you probably haven't picked up that elicitation is not interview and interrogation or accusatory. It's eliciting you to spill the information, spill your guts all over the floor like an open dictionary or an open plan, an open model of mission technique, yet you're just giving it away. No direct questions. Statements only that invite. Correction. See, the elicitor's smart. The elicitor is not going to insult with direct questions. The elicitator is going to have direct statements that invite the elicitated in to correct the linguistic value. The system works automatically, people, period. So there's no manual override needed for a psychological trigger on this. Yeah, you stink. You didn't take a shower today. That's a statement that invites correction. Yes, I did. Well, tell me what you did from the time that you woke up from 0600 to 12 noon. You bet they're going to throw that shower in there. They're going to show they're going to throw the soap. They're going to throw possibly the color of the towel, where Fido was in the hallway and tripped him to get to the shower. All kinds of detail just to correct your statement. Because you didn't ask a question. You stink. You didn't take a shower today. That's a direct statement that requires correction. Insult, derogatory, emotional trigger, response, haste, anger. Oh, yeah. The casual fact confirmation. Casual fact. Nothing huge. Nothing. It's kind of like, the most poisonous spider in the world, that, worthless pile of information, the granddaddy long legs. Somebody's going to argue that. Yeah. Embedded known facts and assumptions. Embedded known facts and assumptions in the casual confirmation. Your colleague mentioned Tuesday, but that seems early. What, you don't think I'm good enough to get it done on Tuesday? Well, I'll tell you what, I've got this plan, I've got A, B, C, D, and I can get it done by Monday, 9 a.m. Well, thanks for giving me everything under the application of my principle of casual fact confirmation. Yeah, you've just given it to me. The we language, again, creates that alliance. That's big. That's huge. People are social. Yes, even those ones that are hermits, even those ones that are introverts. They're introverts for a reason. Yeah, they're in their mom's basement playing video games all the time. Did I have a internet connection? Fiber optic, high speed? You really think they're an introvert, or are they the one you're speaking of that could be elicited in their own virtual reality, and now you have to create a false alliance virtually and invite correction with embedded known facts and assumptions that are communicated digitally. Yes, you can be elicited even by me right here. Now, there's probably someone that like, no, I'm not going to chat anything whatsoever because this guy's about to elicit the crap out of me. Yeah, it can be done. Simple. Real easy. Can be done in a text. Can be done old school mail letters. How many of you still write letters and mail them? Speaking of that, that's the master trick of elicitation. But why? Because you can't hear it's like a text. You can't hear the verbiage, the influx, the enunciation, the long drawn out pause, the the weight, the sharp scholarly pinky on the chin. You can't see that. You're just reading. It's your emotion. You're interpreting it. It's either an alliance created. It's a trickery of a false fact or an assumption. And it invites you to correct and get that pen and write back and put it in the mail. As I said, that pinky on the chin, that strategic silence, the pause, the prompt, or the physical elaboration of speech or lack of speech, as the information is already shared. My information as the elicitor I'm sharing with you is pausation. How dare you interrupt me? Ooh, the elicited will interrupt you real quick, just to correct you, just to let you know what he or she or they, the elicited, has already told you, to confirm what the elicitator wants. The elicitated is just confirming the information and giving it back. Double down. Yes, giving you the same thing back. All you have to do is listen as the elicitator, and there's the verification that the one being elicited is not lying to you. They're giving you the information that you need to know. So, maybe you're learning a little bit of something. How to really get the information you need. Conversational elicitation tactics. It's all simple. It's all broken down. It's all easy. The ego stroke. Yes, the ego stroke. The flattery, the trigger. It demonstrates the elicitator's expertise. But first you got to pick up on it. Figure out what it is. Observe, watch. Yeah, you clearly understand better than the other guy did, better than the other team. Oh, the ego stroke. Yeah, you've clearly got your, I's crossed and T's dotted. I's crossed and T's dotted. Do you think they're going to hear that? No, they're going to, thank you for the praise. Let me tell you how we did this. They're going to explain the whole system, the vulnerabilities, the procedures, the details. Man, how do you think intellectual property is stolen? Good grief. Think Apple, do your history lessons. Call Steve, he got ego stroked and elicitated. The mutual interest, the shared purpose. The elicitator and the elicitated creates information exchange, the shared. Why are you wanting to talk to this elicitated as an elicitator? You've got to create that bond, that team, that we've got it. It's the shared purpose, us together, us against them. I'm working on a similar project, and it's hitting me the same way as it's hitting you. I'm hitting a wall. Well, the elicitated is going to tell you how to get away from that wall because you're putting the elicitated on that pedestal of greatness, superiority, power, self-relevance, self-worth. Yep, they're better at it than you. They're doing the same thing that you're doing, and now they've been told they're better at it. And all you have to do as an elicitator is keep cracking down on those mutual interests of shared purpose, flatteries. They're going to give it to you. They're going to share a solution, a contact, a method, even the smallest piece. May not happen in the moment, but it'll happen. It depends on the resilience and dedication of the elicitor, the provocative statements, the triggers. If the elicitor doesn't want to have multiple shots, that provocative hook, that grandeur, that flash, yeah, the disagreement triggers, the defense explanation. Yeah, I've got the same project as you going on, but I've hit a wall. So I figure you've hit the same wall because, I couldn't fix it. I don't think anybody could fix it or figure it out. Oh, contraire. Here comes the defensive trigger. What are you saying? I'm dumb as you? Oh, the elicitator is going to let you know real quick. I'm not as stupid as you. Not choose the ignorant, but the emotional trigger of reduction of flattery. Now I put you on the same shelf as me, the elf on the shelf with no clue how to be an elf. Now you're being elicited by the elicitator in the provocative statement way. It's the approach that's outdated. Yeah. Everyone falls prey to the insult, the not direct question, but the statement. I didn't ask you how you unstopped the banging heads on the wall for the project you're working that is similar to mine. I just said that you're banging your head on a wall like me. Now suddenly the elicitated is psychologically indifferenced flipped. You don't have to worry about the casual flattery anymore. It's gone psychological mood change, the swing, the tolerance for you now, the haste, the anger, the how dare they insult me, dignity, respect. Yeah, the elicitor is giving you all the dignity in the world. You're just not picking up on it. Yes, they're giving you the dignity. You've got the information I want. I'm giving you dignity. I'm just eliciting you for the information. Oh, thine dignified one. And you're going to give it to him. Yep. The indifference, reducing important, lower defense guards. That's all the elicitor is going to do. Suck you in. The routine paperwork detail for the elicitor. Check the box. Yep. Check the prompts. Unimportant, important, critical detail, how to get it. Environmental elicitation. Man, had a conversation the other day about that, the environment. Sociology, sociological environments. The conferences, the transits, the waiting areas, and the hospital. How many times have you been elicited in a hospital? Somebody's in the hospital, they're there for a reason, they have to wait forever, and then they give you all these symptoms and all these problems, and then that shared, well, my uncle, my aunt, I had this, I got sick this way, now now you're sharing it, and there's 15 people around you listening to your entire medical life history, and those around you that have disclosed their medical history. Now there's HIPAA violations all over the dadgum ER waiting room, because information's being thrown around like, rotted, dead medical waste candy. Now it's all over the place. Fatigue, the tired, the social context, the fatigue. People are sick of hearing lies. They want the truth to be heard. What do you think a politician does? A politician elicits. Politicians say direct statements. They don't ask society questions. How do I do my job now that you voted me in? When have you ever heard a politician do that? When have you ever heard an attorney petition the judge for lack of competency for his client or her client? That would be the attorney saying, I'm dumb. I'm stupid. My client elicited me. The court is eliciting me, and I'm not comprehending it because I'm the elf on the shelf that doesn't know how to be an attorney elf. Yeah, it's the fatigue. It's the post-shift, the cerebral cortex moments of failure. Yeah. The celebratory moment for the elicitor. Celebratory, yes, time to celebrate. Grandeur. Social media engagements. Oh, good God. Yeah, kind of like this one. Social media engagement. You're watching. Probably not live. You'll pick up on it. Somebody will click on it. People have interest on those ones that are sociological. Triggering. Kind of like the narcissist. That's a tricky title. This guy's got like little pictures of red and old propaganda, Cold War, Soviet spy stuff. And even the video it was cool, man. You got to go watch it. It had it's triggers. Yeah, you're being elicited when you go onto your Rumble, your YouTube, your Twitchity ditch, or all your social media, and you're looking at the traps. Clickbait. Yeah, you're being elicited. The fatigue, the shift, the polar cerebral context of someone recognizing that in society, someone doesn't want to be asked, hey, what do you want to see? It's going to be a direct statement. It's going to be visual. It's going to be in words. It's going to hook you. You're being elicited. Yeah, it's the truth. Argue about it. Put it in the chat. You clicked that video for a reason. Because somebody developed something that they knew would hook you in, pull you there, make you come to their show. Source cultivation. Now, the elicitor is not going to just make something up, okay? The elicitor is actually going to have a goal. That prompt has a desired end result, an effect. The light at the end of the elicitor's tunnel, the mission, the plan, the success story. The elicitor wants the self-esteem, the grandeur, the lick it and stick it, shiny star on the forehead just as much as the elicited does. The elicited access level and motivation. The elicited's access level and motivation. How motivated is the elicited subject in the moment? The elicitor is going to wait. The elicitor is going to figure out how to induce the motivation, thus the direct statements and not the questions. Building reciprocal relationships. Yeah. Reciprocal. Give, get. Quid pro quo. How do you think sexual assault happens under quid pro quo? It's not always what you hear. Yeah, you do this for me and I'll give you a raise if you'll have an intimate moment. Because you're beautiful, you're stunning, you're so good. Man, you're the best at the job. I want you to be in charge. You think it's always a victim? No. The elicited willfully steps in and gives the information, gives the reciprocal relationship in return to build the development causation. Yeah, the exploitation, task information, the gathering, how to do it, where to go, the words to say. The task information has its own goal. You can't say the same thing every time to gain different pieces of information. You can't kinesically, physically approach it the same manner. It's a continuous low-level elicitation of change. You're eliciting yourself. How do I make myself better? Direct comments to yourself. How many of you talk to yourself? How many of you laugh at yourself when you do something crazy, weird, or just plain funny? How many of you laugh at yourself when you get hurt or in pain? Because some people in society, when they see someone that gets hurt, it's comical. They laugh just because of the physical nature of it. It looks funny. The elicitor? Are you your own elicitor for your own pain? That's a deep question. It's kind of like deep thoughts. Yeah. Counterintelligence. Now, I remember I said NSA, CIA, James Bond, 00 whatever. Yeah. Counterintelligence, the insider threat detection. Period. Done. Insider threat. We're not talking about insider trading. We're talking about the workplace connection, the workplace conversation revealing security violations. It's easy. It's kind of like law enforcement. It's kind of like a internal affairs investigation. Make the statements. Don't ask the questions. So you went into the vault and you grabbed the control log and signed out A, B, C, and D, but you took the bag of 15 dosage units out. Oh, it's coming now. It's a statement, but the statement is not accusatory in a way of you did it with intent. You did follow procedure with, the log. I gave you that, but then you took the bag of dosage units out. I've given you a means to say, yes, I did, but I did not write them down. Or, yes, I did, but I neglected to put them into the chain of custody log. Oh, I'm giving you an open door to give me more to elicit the building of the relationship now. I understand. I'm human. You're human. I've given you a door to show error and ask for sympathy. A causation of, please have some sympathy on me because I'm human. Even though you did it with intent. The workplace conversation. The economic espionage. Already covered that a little bit. The business, the social context, the elicitation, intellectual property, commerce, the corporate raiders, Wall Street. How does a congressperson not get voted in office and not be worth much at all? But with a few years, they're millionaires, worth millions, worth hundreds of whatever. Yeah. How can you work at a bar and then say some stupid stuff about Obamacare in front of Congress, and when it was against the law to not have Obamacare, but you didn't have it, but now you're in office? What a dumb Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like that politician and that sheriff. Freaking politician doesn't even know the top three and where he sits or where the sheriff truly sits. That sheriff had more of the top three judiciary review, legislative review, and executive decision than the Congress. Or I don't even know if that guy was Congress. I have no idea what he was. He got bad taste in suits, though. Like a Chuck E. Cheese doll rolled over in a paint bucket. Yep. The awareness. The subject unaware. Information gathering is happening. It could be accidentally delivered too, with intent. An accident. Disguised. Accidental meetings. Accidental incursion. Yep. The questions do not always have to be formal. The questions can be subtle. There's always going to be a plot. There's always going to be a prompt. Do I need time? Is this a longitudinal thing or is this singular moment? Or longitudinal by short singular moments, time frames. The distinct elicitation versus technique, the cognitive interview. The one being elicited knows it's as formal. So it's not elicitation. They know, the elicited knows it's going to be accusatory. There are going to be questions asked, not statements given. That's why interview and interrogation fails. Too many detectives asking questions instead of giving direct statements to allow the elicitation to work. Question types, the assumptions, intelligence without triggered defense. You've got to trigger the defense if you're going to elicit. And if you're being elicitated and you pick that up, you must understand that the triggered defense is psychological. You've got to know how to shift the psychological mood in the moment. The interview, the interrogation, or the cognitive interview. The elicitation, simple. It's intelligent based. It's triggering defenses. The interrogation is direct and leading, confession, pleasure, admittance. Pleasure minimizing. Well, I'm going to elicit you, not interrogate you. Interrogation is going to reduce your pleasure. I'm going to elicit you and give you all the pleasure in the world. Yes, make you feel comfortable. Yep, it's kind of like a sexual assault. Yep, she looked like she was 30 years old. Yeah, I would too if I would too if I was you. I would too if I was in your position. I would have made that mistake too. Yeah, we can argue that. Yeah, we can talk to the DA and yeah, pleasuring you because I, the investigator, would have did the same criminal act that you did. Now the elicited feels equal to you. We've built an alliance. Even though I'm executive, legislative, and judiciary above the one being elicited, the suspect of a sex crime against the juvenile. It's not rocket science, people. Elicitation and interrogation, the cognitive interview, memory encoding principles. Yeah, you're also encoding the violation of the law at the same time. The legislative through judiciary review, through executive position of, we're not going to interrogate, we're going to elicit. And psychological basis reciprocity at hand, working in a circle. So let's close. I know it's Saturday night. Everybody's got things to do. Yep. Everybody's got that constraint, that compliance. So let's close this out with a takeaway for elicitation. Now, trust me, we could go for hours here on elicitation because there's so much to cover, but there's no replacement for a classroom. University, college, classroom, I know. You don't want to go because you don't want to waste your time. Well, make sure you're not being elicited. It can happen at any time. The foundations of elicitation are just simply covert, ladies and gentlemen. It's a conversational intelligence gathering. That's really all it is. It's gentle. It's a stroke. It's a move. It's a confirmation strategy. It's the illusionary art of communication. It's also the illusionary art of knowledge being obtained or had already before the gaining of knowledge. It's the verification. It's the set in of validity and credibility. Thus, the direct statements triggering a response. It's a pre-arrest scenario, so to say. Sure. Pre-arrest. And if you're law enforcement, you know exactly what I'm saying. It's the source cultivation. That actually kind of goes with pre-arrest too. Pre-arrest, source cultivation, witness statements, voluntary, accessory, before, the connection, the we, the team, the ones that are now being entrapped by the elicited through the source cultivation, the pre-arrest, the post-arrest, yep, the counterintelligence, so to say. I know this is CJTV, so we got to throw some CJ in there. But, the majority of this one was sociological and psychological, symbiotic circles. So we can't say, oh, this guy's not covering, Dr. Mike G, CJTV. Au contraire, yes, I am. Psychological, sociological, elicitation. And if you're under the influence of, there was no law enforcement or CJ, included into this. I just elicited you for the past 50 minutes. Yeah, there is. Yes, the neutral skill, the identification, the scenario training, the investigation itself. And it doesn't just have to be law enforcement. It just doesn't have to be a government official. It could be Bob down the street at the trailer park. Do you think the news media picks the drunk dude, the drunk girl, the worst person in the neighborhood to talk on camera to the world about a bad incident? Do you think they did that by accident? No, they're in a bad area. They want something that the community is going to feel connected with, the heart, the feel. Look at this poor victim of society. And now this poor victim of society in raggedy clothes and living in a raggedy house is now having to be, surrounded, and they're going to have to, contend with all of this violence. They're giving you the picture. They're giving it to you direct. They're not asking you a question. Hey, what would you like us to think about before we go pick someone from the neighborhood? What do you want us to consider about who we choose to share what happened or what the neighborhood saw or what's the word on the street? No, they're not. They're going out there with intent. It's kind of like the disguise the poop sandwich with sugar. Yeah, it's still a poop sandwich. Still going to taste like poop. Sugar's not going to help it. It's a direct action. I know some of you didn't really look at it that way, did you? That's why it's there. Elicitation, it's not about what you ask. No one cares about what you ask. It's about what you never have to ask. The direct statements, because someone's going to willfully give it to you. How you use the words, you shift the paradox of the statement. It's kind of like a couple shows ago, those that use Bible verses just for the intent to self-grandeur, self-glorification, but the entire chapter is left out. 2 or 3 verses before the verse being said is a completely different change to the outcome. Yeah. Things we miss. The masterful art of making subjects want to tell you what you need to know. What you need to know. Not what you don't want to know. Stop wasting the time. It's an art. It's a discipline. It's a transformation. Even through the casual interaction. Yeah. Changing. The elicitator can, like a light switch. Different. Change. Character. Mood. Psychology. It shifts. Emotion. Go from a hard ass to a dolphin safe tuna. The blink of an eye. The intelligence opportunity is always going to present itself to the elicitator. Gaining the information, self-worth, self-betterment, success story, goal. The legendary of the legal ethical boundary level, so to say. There is no boundary level. The legendary legal ethical boundary level got burned down by Smokey the Bear smoking a cigar in the forest. You didn't need the drunk guy named Bob from the trailer park to light the match. Heck, Smokey the Bear did it himself. And he's out there, stop forest fires. Well, he's the guy that's starting the fires so that they will come to him and make him, or pay him to do more Smokey the Bear commercials. It's kind of like law enforcement. It's a solicitation. Yes, the police are a solicitation. 100%. The police, law enforcement, state troopers, FBI, DEA, federal, whatever, ICE, it's all a solicitation. Now, some of you are like, oh, that guy's wrong. That's an insult. I just solicited you. It's a solicitation, executive, judiciary, legislative review. You vote for the people to sit in legislative seat based on their direct statement, not asking you what you want, but their direct statement, expecting you to believe, and then you're going to give them more counter information so that they know more direct statements to give you as a legislative candidate. They get voted in, they sit in now a judiciary or a legislative review, legislative to write, endorse laws, bills, push this, push that, judiciary review for you in the future, and legislative control for you in the future for CJs, law enforcement, police, FBI, big dogs, guns, badges, fast cars, push bumpers, to executive position, judiciary review of legislative law over you. You just got elicited in your own vote. Ugh. Lessons in life. Have a good night, Elicitation.